Welcome back to Capybara Go, and today we are finally talking about the Ranger inheritance. This is one of the good inheritances, but it's very situational. It can be really useful for the dagger users because, well, the most gains here are for the daggers, and it adds weapon critical rate. So it has a very limited use to other builds, and I think the best build where it can be used is a Whisperer build. Because, well, I do the Whisperer build and I kind of like how it works with it. Although, for the Whisperer you can also go with a Gas, that's useful for the most other situations. So yeah, this is very debatable options to go for, but I like it, so let's talk about it a bit more. Before that, I would like you to like the video and subscribe to the channel to promote it in YouTube algorithm. That will help me to make more videos for you, and also write in the comments what kind of guides do you want me to make so I can make them for you. Let's go. So yeah, the thing with the Ranger inheritance, that's the bonuses here are for the dagger damage and ignore dodge. Ignore dodge is actually pretty good because enemies dodge the attacks quite a lot, and that helps a lot, especially with the bosses and stuff, so it's pretty decent, I like that. It also helps with the PvP quite a lot, to be honest. And for the Forest Ranger bonuses, it gives you weapon critical rate, and basically there are only two builds that will use that inheritance. First one is Whisperer, because, well, it throws 3 extra daggers, and on the weapon critical hit it will throw 2 additional daggers, so, you know, it's a dagger weapon, and it will benefit from it the most. As for the Angel Bow, it throws daggers as well and throw 1 dagger each round, but it doesn't get any benefits from the critical other than increasing the damage. So it will benefit from it a bit less, and I personally think that for this build, it's better to go with the Gast Legacy inheritance, because that one will help you in more situations and you can switch to other build with that one later, while the Ranger will actually get you stuck with what you have. So, although there are some good things about this inheritance, first of all, you will use the Ranger books that are not really used anywhere else a lot, so most heroes, yeah, they don't use that. Most heroes that you will use, they will use the bone books instead, and they're pretty easy to get, so you don't really need a lot of the Ranger books. The Knight of the End uses the Night book, the Reaper uses the Bone book, and our new hero, where is it? Ah, there she is. The Spring Orchid uses the Ranger book, and in case if you are going for the skill inheritance, for the Gas inheritance, you can use those books over here. This is a good option, to be honest, if you are going for elemental build, for Reaper staff build, for example, with the lightning bolt strikes and everything. So yeah, this is the way where you can spend most of your books if you really don't need them, but in other cases, if you don't go for this, or you are unlucky and don't get the Spring Orchid yet, yeah, there are not many options where you can spend them outside of the legacy itself, outside of the inheritance. Another advantage of this inheritance is the skills. They're all pretty good. First one is weapon critical rate, which is obviously useful only if you use the proper weapon, the proper build, like the Whisperer basically. Then the tracker will allow your critical damage to be increased, so all the critical damage, not only the main weapon critical damage, which is really good. I'm getting to that soon, so that will be a nice benefit for my DPS. Wind Strider itself is pretty nice because it lowers the target crit damage reduction. That means that we'll be able to do more DPS, but it's a very debatable option because usually you would like to use other heroes. And the cool thing that starting from the tier 2 Wind Strider and higher, you will get damage increased by 10% for every 5% of the target's HP lost. So maybe that might be really good because in the end you will also get the ignore dodge on the enemy, and this is pretty cool. That means that you will be able to do like 50% more damage at 50% enemy's health, so that's really good to give a bit more DPS. And yeah, the rest of the bonuses are really nice as well. Even this one, common attack base coefficient, this is like, I think, for the basic attack, it means basic attack extra bonus. And here, increase attack by 6% for every 5 daggers hit up to 5 force stacks. I'm sorry, so that's like 4 times 6, 24% attack increase bonus, which is pretty good, to be honest. And it will be really easy to get because with the Whisper build you throw daggers like there is no tomorrow. With an Angel build, maybe not that much, but still good enough. So yeah, I think it's good. And the last one is Ranger Guard. When Ranger Legacy is active, global damage increase 8%, which is nice bonus, but I'm not sure if it's worth it. And yeah, it can be upgraded even further. So yeah, the bonuses here will really only benefit the dagger users, and if you don't go for daggers, this is probably useless. What I would advise for the players who don't go for angel bow or whisper, or maybe you want to go for the gust straight away. This one is extremely expensive to build. We'll talk about that in the other video, but it's still considered to be the best endgame build ever. So yeah, what I would advise is to go for the right side first and get those enhanced HP, enhanced attack. Those things will help you out a lot. And as you guys know, all the side things are passive and they are active even if you don't get the inheritance activated. So that will give you 10% HP and 10% attack, which is nice. And afterwards, you can also work on those nodes later, because some of those are pretty cool. Like, all of those are effective damage bonuses that are really nice. Here you get counter damage reduction, basic attack damage reduction, which is good, and then the skill damage reduction. So that will be 10% of basic attack damage reduction and 10% of the skill damage reduction, which you can use here instead of working on your pet build instead and use those stats elsewhere. But why this build is debatable, why this inheritance is still inferior to the Gust? Well, because you get the damage bonus from the critical damage. That is nice, okay, that's pretty good. And if you don't use daggers a lot, and even if you do, the Gust inheritance will allow you to get even more skill damage straight away. So that's like 40% here. It can be upgraded even further. And that's overall skill damage, so that will work for all your attacks, while this one will only work with the critical damage. Later on, the Gust will also allow you to get the skill critical rate and everything, so I think this is a bit better, right? And obviously way better if you want to change your build later on, because if you'll be stuck with the ranger build, you are stuck with the daggers. And if you overinvest into this one, well, it will be hard to get out of it. I will personally work on the tracker, upgrade it to the maximum to get that tasty critical damage bonuses. That will be really good. And then probably work on the Gust afterwards, because yeah, endgame seems to lie with the Gust instead. So that's how you would like to use the ranger build. Later on, you can also work on those resistances. And maybe, well, Windstrider isn't that great, so in order to get the next bonus, which is over here, you will need to get a lot of progression here, so probably not the best idea. Same regarding the middle bonuses with the global HP attack and defense percentage bonuses. They are good, but the problem is that they cost those elite packs, which are really hard to get, so you should always get them when they are available in the crystal shop and get them in other ways. But yeah, you would like to save them for something else, especially if you want to build several legacies at the same time, several inheritances like skeleton, and then move on to something else. So you really don't want to overspend those things, at least right now. They are not that common in the game and they are really hard to get. The only other way to get them is through the wishing. And in the wishing, it's only 4% chance, it's not that high, and it's pretty expensive. So yeah, you would like to spend your diamonds on the equipment instead early on. So yeah, I'm really curious, what do you guys think if I'm making a mistake working on the Ranger Legacy? I really want to get it to tier 3, get that tracker critical damage bonus, and see how it will affect my gameplay. I don't think it will be that crazy, because I still use that crit mastery, which adds like 20 stacks, and it will be all additive damage to the critical damage, so it won't count that much. I think this is the main reason why this one isn't that great. If it would be like global critical damage bonus, now that's a different story. That's additional separate multiplier that will be counted on top of everything. But instead, I already have 300 crit damage straight away without any other bonuses. And I will add like 150 to that. That's like 50% damage increase straight away. And it will be even lower with additional crit damage increase. So yeah, I guess I calculated it right. I'm not sure, it might be multiplicative, but I'm pretty sure it will be additive bonuses. But I will tell you this, early on, this is really good if you just start in the Whisperer build. You really would like to get this precision shot, because it will allow your dagger damage to be way higher, and it's a separate bonus that doesn't apply to anything else, so your daggers will get a really nice buff, and it will ignore dodge. That helps a lot. And then you can get this weapon critical rate, which together with your bow weapon crit rate bonus will pretty much guarantee you getting the criticals. So my weapon critical rate is 40, my critical rate is 15, that's 55 already. And then what do we have? We have the pet. I still use the unicorn. That will give me 8 times 324, that's 79, that's 80%. And then what do I have? I have the, where is it? There we go. And then I have the Bone Club Golem that gives me heavy blow. That's additional 10%, and heavy blow plus is 15. So that will end up close to 100%. And if I get the crit mastery, I'm over that. So yeah, later on I might get rid of the Bone Club Golem or something, but that basically guarantees me to get the critical every attack, and that means that I will throw 2 daggers upon every crit normal attack, 3 daggers from this. Together with the rage dagger bonus, it can actually stack up, because every rage attack ultimate will throw extra daggers that can crit and give you even more daggers, and that can go on and on and on, and you will do crazy series of attacks that do insane damage. So I kind of like Whisper right now with this build. It feels really fun. I get like 200 combos sometime, but it's still probably a very debatable option, and I would suggest most people to don't do that and go towards the Gust instead later on. So Skeleton, then Gust, the classical route of everyone. Anyway, let me know what do you think of the Ranger build, and how would you suggest playing people with Whisper build and Angel Bow build. I'm really curious on your opinions. Share it down below in the comments. While you're going there, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the video description for additional links. We have the playlist with the rest of the videos. I actually covering all the inheritances right now, so that should be pretty fun. Then we have my Discord, we have wiki with more info on the game, and the LD player link, so you can play this on the PC like I do over here. Really convenient and way more comfortable than on the phone. My battery isn't dying. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. It's been Stan Kosh. Have a good one. Bye.